Hey everyone, welcome back. I've been MIA for a little bit. Been working a lot, spending a lot of time with my family with our newborn, which we're really excited about. So my trikes have been tucked away for a little bit. But I sold a bunch of other bikes and treated myself to this gem. This is a 2020 KTM 300XC TPI. If you've checked my other videos, I used to have a KDX 220, which I absolutely adored. But I've realized that the more I ride in the woods and the better I get at riding, that suspension was holding me back quite a bit. So I finally bit the bullet. A lot of my friends were saying, you know what, get a bike. And I probably put this off for approximately 10 years. I refused to get a new bike. So I finally bit the bullet. Traveled down to Hanover Power Sports. They gave me a great deal. I dealt with Jesse over there, super nice dude. And here she is. But I bought the bike and immediately started putting a lot of parts into it, just as any crazy moto person would do. But let's go over them from the top. So these are Enduro engineering handguards. The stock flag handguards are, I'm sure they're fine, but they won't protect your levers from breaking. They'll just fold in and just kind of snap your levers. So these do a good job of protecting your levers and keep them intact. What else do we have here? Cheruby's front rotor guard. Some people run the solid aluminum front rotor guards. I don't really like that. Never really liked them. I kind of like the look of these anyway, but this should be sufficient. I've never bent a front rotor, but just to be safe, I've got that. A Cheruby's fork boot guards. These are great. Keeps the bottoms of your forks from getting nicked up from rocks. Got these fork protectors, which I think I put on every bike I've ever owned that can accept them. I love those things. They're great. They look great, and they do a good job from keeping nicks off your fork tubes. The Cheruby's engine case guards. I've got the clutch guard on the other side. Bulletproof Designs TPS sensor guard. There's just a little flimsy plastic TPS sensor guard there from the factory, so that is a lot beefier and keeps it safe from any rocks or whatever coming in there and busting it up. The Cheruby's frame guards, probably saw those. These are Steg Pegs. If you're not familiar with these, they keep basically your foot goes up and down here, your leg basically, and your calf when you've got it locked against your bike, your calf kind of keeps. Excuse me. This puck keeps your calf from kind of sliding back, so it keeps you locked into your riding position much more efficiently. I'm gonna give those a try this weekend and see how it works. I haven't ridden with it yet, but I could see how it would benefit my riding, and a lot of the reviews have been very positive about them. So I'm looking forward to trying this out. I think those are Polysport swing arm guards. I've got the swing arm chain guard tab protector. Keeps you from snapping off the swing arm tabs in the event of a impact. KTM rear disc guard, which already came in handy. There's the other side of the swing arm guard. This is just like a cheapo Amazon exhaust guard, which I got just to keep it looking nice. Enduro Engineering spark arrestor cap. These are not spark arrested from the factory, so I put that on in the event that I do end up doing a hair scramble or something. A lot of the times they require your bike to be spark arrested. There's the other side of the frame guard, the other Steg peg. That is the clutch cover. This is a Moose skid plate, poly skid plate, which is made by AXP actually. with the linkage guard. These things are awesome. Very thick, very burly. I like it a lot. I'm happy I got it. I prefer the polys compared to the aluminum skid plates. They slide over rocks a lot better. P3 carbon fiber pipe guard. The new pipe, the new pipe designs on these bikes are actually really cool. They have these ridges and ribs in them, which make them a little bit tougher, but I still like to keep them nice and shiny and dent free, so I put a pipe guard on it. Tusk Fan Kit. There's the little thermostat, plugs into your radiator fins, and here is the control module. So anyway, these new TPI bikes, the fuel injected, oil injected 2-strokes, have a tendency of running a lot hotter than the carbureted bikes. So that kind of keeps it cool in case you're really crawling slow in the trails and your operating temperature's getting up there. That'll kick on. Mine kicks on at 185. I think the stock temperature it kicks on is 190. But yeah, it does. I already tried it. It works great. Cools off the bike very quickly, and it keeps your investment safe, really. I mean, I spent a lot of money on this bike. I want to be sure that it lasts for several years. So just, you know, little things that I could put on that'll ensure its longevity and its safety and functionality over the long term is worth it to me. And I think that about covers it for the bolt-ons. I set my sag in the rear. I forget what I set my air fork pressure to. I think it was like 128 or something. I gotta start really keeping track of that. But on my first ride with this bike, I rode faster than I have ridden probably in recent history that I can, you know, to my recollection, really. I have a buddy, my friend Mike, that I ride with, who is a very experienced enduro rider, and at the end of the day, you know, in the beginning, you're kind of getting your bearings and gathering your bearings and kind of getting used to the bike, but at the end of the day, I was actually chasing him down pretty well. So this bike is unbelievable. I'm sure the carbureted bikes were fine. I mean, I've ridden carbureted bikes for years now, and they were fine, but the TPI system, especially this 2020 system, they've got some increased sensors in there that kind of make it run a little bit better than the previous years. But this bike is sick. The low end power, it's an absolute tractor. The power delivery, I'm sure you've read, is extremely linear and predictable. Just runs perfectly smooth, no bog. I can't really say enough about it. It's a revelation. It really is. Obviously, you got to keep track of your oil reservoir tank. Make sure you're actually burning oil. As with anything mechanical, anything is subject to failure, so just keep an eye on that. I believe the oil pumps on these things, you're supposed to change it like every 100 hours or so, maybe even less, but I'm reading people are getting many more hours out of it. But as a precautionary preventative type of thing, I'll probably change it at whatever the owner's manual recommends me to change it at, because I just want to be safe. That's all. Peace of mind is really priceless. So especially when you're riding essentially, I think all in about a $12,000 bike through the woods and bouncing off of rocks. So you kind of want it to last a long time. But I think, I've still got the stock tires on here, stock tubes. I ran a little bit more pressure in these tires compared to what I usually run because of the stock tubes, and I'm hearing that they're thin, but you know what? I did fine. I'm not going to be changing the tires out or the tubes out anytime soon until I get it flat. So that's that. And I don't think I'm really going to add anything else to this bike. The only thing I may do is register it in South Dakota, because South Dakota does allow out-of-state residents to register their bikes there. And maybe I'll put a lighting kit on it, for when my license plate comes in, so I could put the plate on the back, maybe a headlight. I don't really know. I don't really know if I'm going to do that because I don't ride at night that often. So, if ever, really, for that matter. But that is my bike. 2020 KTM 300XC TPI. Highly recommended. If you're on the fence, just do it. It's sick. Like I said, I didn't do it for 10 years, and I wish, well, there's two things. I wish I got a nicer bike sooner. However, I'm happy that I waited as long as I did, because the technology available now for these bikes is just that much better, and it makes riding that much more fun and easy. So anyway, that's my bike. I hope you've enjoyed my video. If you have any questions, please post them up. I'll see if I could post up the links to whatever add-ons I have on this bike. Most were purchased from Rocky Mountain Rocky Mountain ATV. This is an ATC channel primarily, but that's that. Hit the likes button, subscribe, and everyone, please ride safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you soon.